day, good day. How you going? What do you know? Don't strike a light. Good day, good day. And how you going? Just say good day, good day, good day, and you'll be right.
Welcome to the Midweek End Times News and Trends Briefing as we share major events and what is happening around the world as it relates to Bible prophecy. Today's date is May 2nd, 2018. I hope you're all doing great and having a fantastic day so far. I don't know about you, but I do look forward to each and every day because not only the blessings of my life and my family and our church and the privilege of serving the Lord, but also just telling people about Jesus. Every day that I get to live, I get to talk to people about Jesus. Got to pray with people, get to encourage them in the Lord and their walk with the Lord. Or if they've never heard the gospel, you get to share the gospel with them. And I've had more witnessing opportunities and talking about end time events and all that's going on than any other thing in the 25 years I've been a Christian. And I've been a Christian for 25 years now, and by far what is happening today in the events of the world has created more opportunities for me to share the gospel with people, to tell people what's going to happen, what the Bible says, and personally, I am learning and growing more now than any other time in my walk with the Lord. And I want to continue to grow in my knowledge and my relationship with the Lord. And I hope that you do too, for those who know the Lord. And if you don't know the Lord, I pray that you would receive Him as your Lord and Savior. A couple interesting items have popped up over the news in the last several days. Some of it was just breaking news that was shocking to many people, but for those who have been staying tuned in to what is happening in the Middle East, it's not a surprise. For example, and this is so cool to see, just to see how this worked out, how out of the Times of Israel talks about how Mossad stole Iran's nuke archive and smuggled it back to Israel the same night. So here's the story, that the spies from Israel's Mossad agency discovered the top secret location of a warehouse used to store Iran's nuclear weapons files. They broke into the building, took a half a ton of documents, managed to smuggle them back into Israel that same night, according to the New York Times reported late on Monday. Benjamin Netanyahu revealed this daring operation as he displayed a trove of documents in a presentation that proving that Iran has lied about its covert atomic weapons program. He also gave a few details on how or when the agents managed what he called the greatest achievement of the Israeli intelligence. And so the senior Israeli official who spoke of the condition of the anonymity to discuss the secret mission told the Times that the Mossad had discovered the warehouse in February of 2016 and had the building under surveillance since then. The operatives broke into the building one night last January, removed all the original documents, and smuggled them back the same night into Israel, according to this official. And so President Donald Trump was informed of the operation by Mossad chief during his visit to Washington in January. And so the official said that the delay in making the material public was due to the time it took to analyze the documents and the vast majority of which were in Persian. And so Netanyahu, he describes the archive as looking as a decapitated warehouse, and this somewhere's in Tehran, and this is where they kept the atomic archives, right here. And a few Iranians knew where it was, very few, and very few Israelis, Netanyahu said. So what a cool operation to get the intel that is needed and make it back safely into Israel. And within this program, we see how another article continued to talk about, and many others have responded to this, or news reports. Ynet News talks about how Netanyahu, Iran lied big time about nuclear program. So in his speech in English and broadcast during prime time in Israel on Monday night from the country's defense minister. He also said that the Israeli covert obtained some 55,000 pages of documents and 55,000 files on CD, showing that Iran is blazingly lying when it said it never had nuclear weapons program. The files prove it. And so the cache is full of incriminating documents, incriminating charts, incriminating presentations, incriminating blueprints, incriminating photos, and incriminating videos and more, he said. So the evidence is there to prove it. And it's something that, for those who were in the intel industry, they knew this all along. And there's another article out of the Israel National News, how U.S. knew information that Netanyahu presented. We expected Iran to lie. So under the Obama administration, it was aware that Iran had lied repeatedly about its nuclear program, said former ambassador to Israel, Dan Shapiro, told Israeli media on Tuesday morning, adding that the administration hoped that the Iran nuclear deal would prevent Tehran from acquiring nuclear weapons for at least a decade. But again, under this deal, the Obama administration, they gave billions and billions of dollars to help fund the nuclear program for Iran. And then, so it's interesting to see. It's something, just keep paying attention to some of these details. And again, what Trump will most likely do. It'd be interesting if he does pull out. It'd be the right thing to do, because it is a horrendous deal when you start looking through the information. For what we've heard from other intelligence agencies have talked about that. On to another interesting news item out of the Jerusalem Post. Former defense minister, Israel's northern home front unprepared for war. So the North is unprepared for an escalation with Iran should it occur, according to the Zionist Union representative who serves as a minister of defense during the Second Lebanon War on Tuesday. So Israel's main problem, he added, is Iran's trying to incite threats in the Syrian territory. So perhaps that particular region might be unprepared, but I know the Israeli army and defense and air force is ready for war at any time. So it's just a matter of time to see what these other countries decide to do. But we do know we are approaching quickly the Psalm 83 war, Ezekiel 38 war. We're seeing quickly the Isaiah 17 with the destruction of Damascus. We are also seeing the Zechariah 12, how Jerusalem is that cup of trembling. So all these sort of things we're seeing developing and happening before our eyes. Within the Middle East, again, there is this other report out of Ynet News that talks about the Iran leader, says that U.S. will be hit multiple times if it enters conflict with Iran. So again, more talk of rumors of wars and threats, and Khamenei calls on U.S. to leave the Middle East and says any power-changing Islamic Republic will be defeated. U.S. provoking regions unexpected rulers to create further regional crisis. And meeting with Iran's lawmakers, Syrian President Assad said the region's map is being redrawn. Hostile countries now trying to direct aggression after proxies failed. And so the tensions within the Middle East continues to mount. And again, there's other people that say, well, the U.S. should just back off completely in what is happening in the Middle East. And but that's not going to happen. The U.S. will always be involved in the Middle East for multiple reasons. And number one, because it supports Israel, especially under President Trump and Mike Pompeo and Mike Pence, the vice president and the secretary of state. So again, they're going to back Israel. They're going to support Israel. And so that's something that's going to always be involved there. And then there was an interesting visit that Mike Pompeo did in Jordan. and kind of maybe perhaps gave a bit of a peek of what's going to happen with this peace plan that is still yet to be revealed. But out of the Times of Israel had this particular article talking about how Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said on Monday that a resolution of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict remains a priority for the Trump administration, despite its recognition of Israel as Israel's capital, recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital, and planned on moving the U.S. Embassy to the Holy City over Palestinian protests. Pompeo also said that the U.S. is fully supportive of the Jewish state's right to defend itself and declined to criticize the Israeli military for its use of live fire against the Palestinian protesters along the Gaza border. And in speaking in the Jordan capital of Amman, he wrapped up a Middle East leg of his first overseas trip as America's top diplomat. Pompeo called on the Palestinians to return to the long-stalled peace talks with Israel, and he said that the U.S. is open to a two-state solution to the conflict if both parties agree, calling it a likely outcome. But he did not agree with the Jordan foreign minister characterization of the conflicts, the main cause of instability in the region. The main cause of instability is really the Palestinians and what they are trying to do and their terrorist organizations with Hamas, Hezbollah, and of course the Palestinians. And so it would be a likely outcome if there was a two-state solution. But we do know that a plan will be in place, a covenant will be in place. At some point, the eventual Antichrist will eventually confirm and agree with this particular plan, whether this is the plan or something else is developed, and this is just kind of a model, but we still yet to see this plan being unleashed and set in place. So, again, we can see so much is happening on a weekly basis and on a daily basis. You never know what's going to happen today or tonight or even tomorrow, but we just need to always be ready for the Lord's return. We need to be busy about His business, but how exciting it is to think that perhaps today He can return for us. And again, it's just a matter of time before all these events unfold and we see the exact fulfillment of Bible prophecy. But all these pieces are getting closer and closer together, but we need to continue to keep our eyes fixed upon Jesus as the author and finisher of our faith. We need to keep drawing close to Him, staying in His Word, keep growing in your knowledge and of Him and of His Word, and that you continue to be that witness to tell people about the love and grace and mercy of Jesus Christ, and continue to be that example for people to look at, to be the salt, to be the light, that we can make the greatest impact that we have. We're on the final home stretch of this race, of these end times. And so we're going to run with all that we can. Stay focused. Run the race that He's put before you. Keep your eyes fixed upon Him. And so that's it for today's brief update. And I pray that you'd all have a wonderful and blessed day. Until next time, God bless.